What's up, guys? Welcome back to the studios. Lock here. And you go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, and let's get into locking down some content. All right. So I want to go ahead and talk about rotations, how to find a rotation, and how to land a proc. Because I've gotten these questions quite often as of lately. So I wanted to go ahead and make this video as an answer to those questions. And for anybody who's newer or average and doesn't know how to find a rotation for a character, or might wonder how to find a rotation for a character, and new players who wonder how do procs work, how do you use them, or average players or middle grade players who still haven't gotten a grasp on how to proc and how to use it, today you're going to learn that. And we're going to have some fun doing it, right? All right, so as Kevin Hart would say, you going to learn today. Let's get into it. All right, so first off, how are we going to find a rotation for a character? This is going to work for any given character at any given point. Doesn't matter who it is, what character it is, or otherwise. So to find a rotation for a character, first you're going to need a character to find a rotation for, right? So let's go ahead and jump into the roster here. We'll use a character that I haven't used in a long time, maybe, whatever. I mean, I know most characters' stuff by heart, but, man, that's simply due to playing so long. But let's see here. You know what? I just recently did Yelena, so we'll go ahead and use her as an example. I'm just picking a character at random here. Haven't played with her too often. I mean, I didn't even really level her skills, or I didn't know Uru, you know, just kind of basic as basic can get. Okay, so first off, we're going to go ahead and jump over here to this menu, because I feel this menu is much easier to read the skills. And that's just personal to me. Now, you can't use this menu over here and go one at a time, yeah, blah, blah, blah. But I prefer this menu because it's all within one finger to the next, right? Plus, I can see max grade. No matter what the character is, I can put it at max level to make sure I see and have an understanding of all the buffs that a character will get for max skills and all that stuff. So first, I read the skills. In general, 1 and 2 don't really do much of anything. As we can see here, just burn damage, bleed damage, stun. The main skills you're going to want to look at is 3, 4, and 5, and of course, if the character has an awakened skill. Baseline is you're going to read the skills and check the times for any buffs that are applied. So, like, we have a frenzy buff here of 55%, and it lasts 12 seconds. And it also has increased damage by 70% for one attack. Okay, well, that screams to me that, can I cancel that? Can I cancel that and push it into another skill that does more damage? Because if that's the case, that's what you want to do. 12 seconds long, well, hell, can I push that into a different skill? Maybe the 4 has a lot of damage on it, right? And maybe the 3 doesn't. So if you can push the 3 buffs into the 4, that's more optimal for more damage, right? You're amping up a different attack. Well, accumulation, but no buffs, no damage increase. That's just the accumulation. How long does that last? 10 seconds. So that screams to me, maybe that should be the second skill I use, or maybe that's the skill that I need to use first, or maybe that's the skill that I need to use last, because maybe it has the most hits. So that's going to tell me 4 is either going to be the big damage, or 5 is going to be the big damage, and I'm either going to need to use 5 to 3 to push all the accumulation and the buffs into the 4. Or, because 4 has nothing, and maybe it just has hits, it might be 3 pushed into the 4, pushed into the 5, and everything hits all at once, because maybe the 4 is cancelable and the 3 maybe not so much. So we're going to jump into skill preview, and we're going to watch the skills now that we've read them. Okay, so we know 5 is the accumulation, and we know 3 has all the buffs. And why does it keep doing that? That's annoying. Turn that off. Okay, we see 3 doesn't really have a lot of hits. Does 4 have a lot of hits? It has residual damage for accumulation. And it does have a lot of hits. Those 3 bots took 71 hits. How many hits does this have? That has a lot of hits, and it hits everything. So, is it cancelable? No. Is it delayed cancelable? Yes. Because now you see, so you're going to want to do 3, cancel 5, delay, cancel 4. And you're going to watch the damage just ramp. Or 3, cancel 4 into the 5. Because it's also cancelable. Seems better. 3, cancel 4, wait for the lightning, and then into the 5. We got 225 hits. 3, cancel 5 into the 4. Well, we didn't delay long enough. 3, cancel 5 into the 4. How many hits do we get? 205. 3, cancel 4, lightning into the 5. How many do we get? 161, that's it. Okay, so yeah, you're going to want to do 3, cancel 5, delay, cancel 4. Well, because of the shots from the machine gun. 3, cancel 5, delay, delay, cancel 4. And you get so many more hits. So 3, 5, delay, cancel until you see the crosshairs. And so now we just found Yelena's rotation, just that quick. That's her rotation. Now, for instance, if we're doing somebody else that, say, has a uniform or whatever have you, which he has, we can use him as an example since he's right here. We'll check out his skills. Central max. Okay, so we got, he's got a frenzy buff passive. Small one, but it's still. So we have increased energy attack. That's a 6-second buff. That's his blast burn. This 4 skill has a 100% increase for 1 attack and removes active buff from target. And then we have a penetration with defense down. No buff, so it's just a heal with defense down. Okay. So we have accumulation. We have invincible, 10-second of accumulation. It's got a little frenzy buff. Bunch of other buffs. So we want to amp this into something else. So we'll go to preview skill. We can already tell where our buffs are coming from. So we're going to want to amp it into something else, which to me is going to look like the 4. So I would say 5, cancel 4 into the 5, cancel 6 into the 4, and then into the 3 is what makes the most sense to me. So 5 for heal, 6 into the 4, and let all them hits pop onto the 4 and pushed into the 3. Five, cancel 6, cancel 3, cancel 4. Even maybe. But I kind of like the 5 cancel 6 into the 4 because of all the hits being accumulated and then finishing off together at the same time. And then that leaves you with an immunity and damage on the 3. So 5, cancel 6, cancel 4. Even though that would ramp up more hits. 5, 6, 4 makes the most sense and feels the best. Because they both end at the same time. 5, 6, into the 4. And then you still have the tornado floating around. And that's how you find a rotation. Simple as that. You read the skills, check the durations of the buffs, and then you check each skill's animation. Is it cancelable? Is it not? Does it give a buff? You know? And figure out, well, where does it fit in the picture? Where does it fit? And that's basically all you're doing. Really and truly, you're any skill that's cancelable that has a buff or an attack increase. Take the character and test the skill versus a boss. Right? Test the skill versus a boss. Does that skill have a lot of damage? If it doesn't have damage, and the buff that comes from it can be used to boost another skill, and it's cancelable, well then that's basically you're gonna use that skill and use a different skill that has the damage to take advantage of all them buffs, because it might only last 7 seconds or 10 seconds or however many seconds it lasts, you know? You're going to want to use that skill to push buffs into another skill that's going to ultimately give you the most damage, right? 5 gives us a heal and has some residual damage, right? So you 5, canceling into that, and that big tornado from the 5 is going to give you extra accumulation, right? And you haven't boosted any of the accumulation into the 4 yet. So 5, tornado, cancel into the 4. And look at all the hits. 524 hits, 26 hits. So 5, tornado, cancel 6, cancel 4. And all the tornado from the 5, all the hits from the 6, and all the hits from the 4 all amp up the accumulation onto the damage of 4, as well as the damage of 6. And that's how we find the rotation. And then you have 3 with a damage increase with a short immunity on. So you basically fit them together like a puzzle, right? If this is a buff skill, it'll have a buff and it'll be cancelable. If it's a damage skill, you'll know because it'll be the single skill that hits bosses the hardest. And then accumulation, anything with accumulation, most generally, unless it has a lot of hits and the damage is really high on it, you're either going to cancel, or that's going to be the skill that you land your proc on and that holds all the damage. So any other skills are going to buff that one, or it's going to buff something else. Just like Torch here. The accumulation is on the 6, but it's all the buffs from 5, 6 are getting pushed onto 4. But maybe there's another character where it would be 5 cancel 4 into 6, because the 6 has the accumulation and it has all the damage too. But 5 has a frenzy buff, and 4, say, has a damage increase. So you get a damage increase, a frenzy buff, and you're pushing it all onto the skill that has accumulation with lots of hits and lots of damage. That's basically how you find a skill rotation. Quick, easy, and simple. I mean, there's not a big science to it. It's super easy, super quick. Not much to explain. Not really. But let's go ahead and talk about procs real quick. I'm not going to mess around too much with it, but we're gonna use Cull as an example here. Let me go to no. Wait, we can keep Groot, and I'll use Torch for this as well, just to save face, since we were just talking about him. Without the 6, it's going to be the same rotation. It's going to be 5 cancel 4. Basically, 5 cancel 4, 3. Because that's where all his damage is on the 4. And we've already figured that out. Now, does he have a proc? Yes, he's got a 120 proc, so it's not huge. So you're gonna want to use the skill you want to proc on first. So now we've activated our proc. We can use our 3 for the damage immunity. Pop our 5 just before our skill's off cooldown. And now you see that we proc back on the 4. And see, we use the 4 again, and we've timed our proc, and now it hits when we want it to. And if you get messed up, we have the tornado from the 5 still floating around. So you reset it, use the 4 again, the proc activates, use the 3, pop the 5 just before your proc is ready to activate, back on the 4, and there's our proc. 3. Pop the 5 just before, pop the 5 just before, and then pop the 4, and we proc. 3. Pop the 5 just before, pop the 4, and we get our proc. I guess it didn't activate that time. I guess we didn't hit the percent. And then if that happens, you just wait for it to go to end, turn gray again, and then pop the 4 again. We get the proc. Pop the 3, watch your cooldowns, pop the 4, or pop the 5, sorry, and then back into the 4, and we get our damage. Pop the 3, we'll just sit in it for a second, pop the 5, pop the 4, and we proc. We proc late on it, but we still proc. 5, 4. There's the proc, that's better. But that's basically it. Whatever skill you want to proc on, you use first. If your rotation gets messed up and you go off proc, let your proc cool down, go back into the gray on your buffs up there at the top left, let it turn gray again, give it a few seconds, use the skill you want to proc on again first, and then continue through the rotation. Don't start a new rotation, continue through the rotation of how your rotation of how the rotation goes, right? So if you're proccing on 2 and your rotation is 5 cancel 2 and then 4 1, continue on with how that rotation should go, but always use the skill you want to proc on first to time your proc, because most generally when you do that, your proc activates, and then you let it roll through, get your damage, and then push on through with your rotation. And by the time you get back to using that skill again in your rotation, it will just be coming off cooldown. You can use this skill and you're gonna proc on it because you've timed it. And that's basically it. Super easy, nothing hard about it. Use the skill you want to proc on first and then start your rotation. And by the time you come to the end of your rotation, where you want to proc, that skill is off cooldown and it is ready for you to use, and you'll proc on. If you have any questions, comments, drop them down below. Go ahead and check out links in the check out our sponsors. There's a link in the description with a 10% off code from Lock Studios. Got some great audio equipment. Check them out. This is Locke signing out. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.